Hey beautiful friends, welcome into my channel. My name's Jackie Alves. I'm so excited today to talk to you about refreshing your look, freshening up your skin, brightening back up, and just feeling like you're back on your game. Sometimes we get to the point where I'm like, oh God, I just want to refresh everything. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you a really great new exfoliator I just discovered, a really pretty new eyeshadow palette I just bought and love, and my favorite lashes by Ardell, the number 421s. I cannot live without these things lately. I'm even going to show you how to do a quick and simple updo with a couple of hair extensions. I've just got a few pieces in right now, and I'm going to show you how fun it can be, how easy it can be, and just refresh that look. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and stick around because I know you're going to love today's video. All right, so let's talk about some things I first used to exfoliate because man, I was feeling dull and really drab. And like right here, I looked at it and it looked like a cat's tongue. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. I was like, why am I like this? So something new I tried recently and that I love is called Sex Appeal. I know, weird, but it's spelled like peel. So it's like peeling. It's by Sonia Roselli. I don't have a link. I'm not an influencer or anything for this company, but just go to their website, soniaroselli.com, and you can get this. It's an instant exfoliator, you guys. It works so well. I sprayed a bunch in my hand. That's what the instructions say to do. And then I got it on my face, rubbed for like 20 seconds, and man, it instantly started to exfoliate. I also used my Jafra Royal Revitalized Volcanic Polishing Mask. This has volcanic granules. And I gave it a really good scrub with one of those disposable little facial sponges that I talk about. And I really got in there really good. And I was feeling like, bringing my face back to life. And I want to suggest a new serum. So if you're looking for a new serum this year and you're wanting to, ramp up your game a little bit, this is Royal Jelly Concentrated. That stuff that bees make, they feed it to the queen bee. Anyway, this is super exfoliating, or it's super lifting. I'm stuck on exfoliation apparently. Super lifting and firming, and I really love the way it kind of regenerates skin cells. So let's get cracking with some makeup. Rolling up my sleeves. Now that I'm super exfoliated, I feel confident that my makeup is gonna stay longer and look really nice and fresh. I hate that when my face begins to look so dull. So you guys, I don't know if you're part of my members only area, but I recently did a video where I showed me doing my aunt's makeup. I went to visit her in New Mexico and we had so much fun. So I'm gonna actually reproduce this look for you today. Here's her before. And here's her after. Isn't she beautiful? We had so much fun. But I want to do this look for you, and then I'm also going to send this video to her because she was like, give me everything you use, just put it in a box and send it to me. And I was like, aye, Captain. So we started with her skin prep, and then we went straight into primer. And I'm going to go ahead and use this spray primer. Now, I normally am a huge advocate of like a putty primer or a silicone-based primer because you can press it into the pores. But this one is really lightweight, and I noticed my skin looks really pretty and glowy when I use it. So I'm gonna keep using it for a little while. I really enjoyed it and it looked nice. So I'm gonna use my cream foundation right now, and I'm gonna use it the same way I used it on my aunt's face. So I just took a little bit with a nice fluffy brush. I didn't go in with the purpose of getting like a big fat layer. I just really wanted to airbrush it out. Now she was a different shade than me. She's always got a beautiful tan, and I was always pasty standing next to her. But we went in and really balanced out her skin tone and used this big fluffy brush just to get like an airbrushed look. I didn't want to get a big buildup. She doesn't normally wear makeup. She certainly doesn't wear foundation. And so I didn't want to make her feel cakey at all. So we just airbrushed a little bit of this on with a fat brush. Let me come a little closer. And then bringing it down the neck. And she had a little bit of discoloration on her neck and chest, just like I do. So I just brought it down the neck. And notice I haven't dipped back into the foundation because it just doesn't take very much. I just into that wonderful cream foundation. Now you can use liquid if you want, but this time of year when my skin begins to dull a little bit, I have noticed that a cream foundation that's got some good skincare in it can really give you a good glowy, dewy finish. And this actually has vegan collagen in it and other like moisture, you know, moisture, what's the word I'm looking for? Promoting ingredients. You guys can tell I'm not super technical. I think I know stuff, but I just know how to make women pretty. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and get into some contour. So I didn't like go in and chisel and snatch and do all the things on her face. Remember, I said that she didn't like a lot of like foundation, okay? She wanted to look pretty. She wanted me to do something special with her makeup, but you know, I didn't want to make her feel cakey. All right, so let's move into some contour and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so with the contour, I just went in with like a fat concealer brush and placed it where I wanted it, but I almost forgot to mention that she had some dark spots. She's got a little bit of sun damage right here and a little bit over here. So I just took the same foundation with a smaller brush and just used it for touching up and building up in those areas. So I'll do the same on my own face where I feel like I need a little extra coverage and a couple of dark spot areas. Now I'm not putting a bunch under my eyes because I'm gonna go back with concealer, but like I definitely wanna get that weird spot right in the middle of my forehead. So this is a way you can really avoid getting a big fat layer and feeling cakey, is just by building up in those areas where you need it the most. And you can even use a smaller brush if you have smaller imperfections. Maybe you've just got a couple of little spots. Maybe you just had a little breakout. And you know, with that sun damage, it just gets darker and darker over time. So protect it as well. Go have it checked out. Poor Mr. Alves just had to have a big place burned on his face for the second time. Big old spot over here. Poor dude. And like I said, it's the second time. Okay, so I like the coverage. I'm doing good. All right, I'm gonna take the big fat brush again. You guys can see this is a pretty big brush, but it's nice and fluffy. I'm just gonna make sure it's blended. All right, keeping it natural and blended looking where you add that extra product does take a little bit of extra work, but it's worth it. You know, if you've got a spot or 7 you want to hide, it's fine. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and get in here and do some contour. So I'm going to use another cream foundation. This isn't like, you know, a cream contour product or anything. I just have a darker foundation I like to use. And this is what I did with my aunt. I just added in a little extra. She has beautiful high cheekbones, so I didn't have to add too much. And also, as we age, sometimes our face can look a little hollow right through here. So, you know, you may not need to contour unless you're like me and you're packing your Christmas weight around. My husband got on the scale. We just have eaten too much recently. We've been traveling a little bit and we love road snacks. So when he got on the scale, he said, "Oh, it looks like I'm at my Christmas weight." And I was like, shoot, that's what I'm saying too then. I like it. I'm at my Christmas weight. We're definitely gonna fast after Christmas though. All right, so just scooping it up. And I don't have to do too much because I'm gonna do a tiny bit of powder contour, like just almost the equivalent of a bronzer, but I just wanna get it blended under my cheeks here to add some dimension. And you know, my aunt's face is kind of a little bit more round right through here than mine is, but I still wanted to try to add that beautiful dimension. And kind of, you know, wanted to next level it. I wanted her to be excited. I wanted her to be impressed and be like, yes, my niece is the best makeup artist ever. So I had to show her my mad skills, but I didn't want her to feel like, you know, I'd made her look like she was ready for the stage or something. We were just going to a church Christmas party, for the love of Pete. All right, so a little bit on my forehead in that kind of crescent shape. All right, can definitely buff it out if I feel like it's, oh, I can definitely buff it out if I feel like it's not even. I don't know how that happened. Thank God for the buffing brush. There we go. Man, sometimes I get done with my makeup and I'll have a big black blob, Like I'll get mascara on myself and I don't have a clue how it happened. All right, just a little bit more and I will do the turkey gobbler neck. Get out of here. I'm gonna banish the turkey gobbler. So I'm doing like a triangle shape of my darker foundation right here to push it away, cast a shadow on it. And I did the same with my aunt. And I was there like, you know, trying not to accentuate or like bring attention to the fact that I'm trying to hide her double chin and her turkey neck and all this stuff. She was like, I know, hide my turkey neck. And I'm like, what? I see no turkey neck, you're perfect. I hate drawing attention to women's faults. I mean, of course, I want to like push away the turkey neck, but I want you to know I'm doing it. I don't want you to know there's anything wrong with you. Man, if I could take that away for women when they come in and they're like, okay, so I have wrinkles and bags and my hairline and my lips are thin. I wish I could take that away for women. I wish I could make them feel better about themselves. That's like my one big goal in life, is just to help you feel beautiful. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of powder. I'm just gonna set in really light with this translucent powder I got. Now this is just a good basic translucent. I really like it because I feel like it doesn't cake, it doesn't make my foundation feel heavier. It doesn't sit in lines. It just almost like seals it. I feel like it seals the deal, gets it ready for like powder blush, powder contour, and you can see I'm not piling a ton of it on. And with this fluffy brush, this is by Real Techniques, it's super fluffy on the end so it doesn't pack a bunch of powder on it, so it won't get it all over your face. It just lightly buffs. Which, you know, I don't want to matte everything down. I just said that I wanted to look glowy and healthy and all those other words that we love. So, you know, whatever. Now I'm gonna go in with my contour palette. This is just the one I have here at the beauty bar. And I always say you can get whatever contour powder you like so that you can mimic this step. There's a lot of really affordable ones out there. So, you know, feel free to use what you like, just as long as it's a good powder contour. And this one's pretty highly pigmented, so it packs a pretty good punch. This is the exact technique I used for my aunt. And just brought it right under here. She loved it. I didn't let her see anything till I was done though, so she didn't know the process. So I told her because she said, send me all the stuff. I was gonna make her own video to help her reproduce the look. Because, you know, I don't want to send her a bunch of stuff and then she doesn't know what to do with it and it sits under her counter. How many times have you done that? You got talked into something that you didn't necessarily know what to do with, but somebody told you it was the next biggest thing and you had to have it. It was going to change your life and be a game changer and all those ridiculous things, right? So you got it and then you weren't quite sure what to do with it. Maybe you're like me and you tried it one time and then you're like, never mind. That happens to me a lot. All right, just going right back over where I put the cream. Now, if you're satisfied with the way that the cream looks, you don't have to go back over with powder. But this is a double stacking method I really like. It helps it last longer, pack more of a punch, if you will. Speaking of Mr. Alves and myself being at our Christmas weight, man, we hit the same problem every single year. We are doing so good, like right around Thanksgiving, you know, maybe we'll pick out a little bit, but then we get right back on the ball with taking care of ourselves, but never fails. My mother-in-law sends the Harry and David's boxes every year, plus all these little mini loaves of bread, like cherry pecan and all this stuff. Oh my God, you guys, like, she's trying to kill me. It's because they're so good. And then we just give up. We start with like one little tiny bite of these loaves, and then it's like by the end of the next day, we've eaten ours and our kids, because she sends them to our kids too, and our adult children. And I think I ate my son's already. Yes, our gorgeous editor, I ate his breads that Grandma Mary sent, but I know he wanted me to because he didn't want to gain a bunch of weight. He's smarter than me. So, all right, I'm gonna do a little bit of blush right now. But I'm gonna use my Graftobian palette. This is a professional brand that I love to use here for my clients. However, it's a good one because it's got tons of shade choices in it, and they're so highly pigmented, you just use a little bit. So I'm gonna use this really beautiful neutral shade here because I'm doing the navy blue, lot of neutral today, except for the eyes. The eyes will be warm. So stacking this right on top. Good grief, I love this shade. And that was almost like the lightest one in there. It really packs a punch. So if you are a blush babe like me, you love your blush, this might be a good investment for you. I just find Graftobian products on Amazon, so you can pick one of these up there. But if you need your blush to pack a punch, you may want to invest in a great palette like this. All right, man, that's pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go into eyeshadow right now, you guys, and I'm gonna show you the same technique I used for my aunt. And you know, I kept it really simple, but I got a new palette today. I was over shopping at JCPenney in the JCPenney beauty section. I don't know if you guys ever go there, but this is Shades by Shan. And at JCPenney Beauty, they carry some brands by small beauty companies, and I love that because I'm a small beauty company, so I love this kind of stuff. But this is a company out of San Francisco, and these two girls really wanted to honor their mom that was a single mother that took such good care of them. And so a portion of the profits from their products go towards this nonprofit that they have that helps provide for single moms. So I think that's a great thing. So, oops, Shades by Shan, if you want to check it out. And it's super pretty. You can see I got a really nice warm palette here. But still, you know, I feel like these are kind of neutral still. So you've got a good range here, and it's just a little quad. It was not expensive at all. I think it was in the 20s, 20 something. So let me find a good eyeshadow brush here. So we're gonna get started. And I'm just gonna start with this kind of salmon shade here. Then I'll go to the dark brown, and then I'll use this shimmer kind of light cream shade. But first, I wanna go back to that translucent powder, and I'm going to use that all over my entire eyelid, like as my base, just to prepare that eyelid to receive the rest of the powder products. Let me grab my hand mirror so I can see what the heck's going on. All right. Just all over my eyelid, just making sure everything's set, especially if you creased a little bit in your eyelid here. Now also, if you have a problem with your eyeshadow lasting, you can put concealer on your eyelid if you want. I don't have a problem losing my eyeshadow, so I'm not going to. I don't want to put extra product if I don't need it. All right, it looks like I'm good to go there. So let's hop into those beautiful Shades by Shan. You can say it really cool like that, Shades by Shan. Especially if you've got an ultra crazy deep voice like I do. Got a story about that. Like to hear it? Here it go. But we'll start with eyeshadow first. So I'm getting that beautiful salmon shade there. Another reason I like the navy blue is because it's so neutral, you could do just about anything with it. So getting right in the crease. Really easy here. So pretty. Now this is my transition shade, so I'm bringing it up towards my brow. And this is gonna give me such a beautiful kind of fresh look, because these are really gonna pop some blue eyes, also green. Also, if you've got brown eyes that have gold in the brown, really, really beautiful. And just coming over here and adding some in, bringing it all the way up towards my brow. See how I'm just kind of swirling it up there? I don't have to be super methodical because this is not the showcase shade. This is more of a transition shade. All right, so far so good. Okay, so remember I was telling you that I got a story about my voice, like to hear it go. Well, you guys know that, you know, my voice has gotten deeper since I started doing videos on my YouTube channel recently, like, I don't know, over a year ago. And it's just, I got really sick about a year and a half ago. My voice started getting deeper. I lost it, and then it won't come back, right? Well, you know, some people are rude and weird or whatever, and a lot of people have been commenting that I sound manly or that I am a man. People are asking if I am a woman, just like weird comments from people, right? And it's just cracking me up because my husband says I sound husky. He doesn't think I sound manly, which I'm sure he's trying to compliment me, but he was like, it's kind of sexy and husky. And I was like, husky? That's like That's what they called your pants when you were a fat kid. When I was a kid and you were kind of chunky, you wore husky. You know, if you were a boy that was overweight, you had husky jeans. You guys remember that? So when he said I was husky, I was like, listen, buddy, you need to pick your compliments a little more carefully. All right, I'm gonna go into the brown here. And I will just bring it right on the bottom. Now, when I did my aunt's eyeshadow, I had to keep it really, really simple. She doesn't have as much space as I do. And I just wanted to add a little bit of depth right here. And I brought it all the way down to the lashes, because also we were pressed for time and I didn't want to have to go back in with a lot of detail. All right, now bringing it out. This is so pretty. This is gonna pop so nice when we get it finished. Now, I brought hers pretty far out because I wanted to elongate her eye just like I do with mine. This is a really common technique I use here at the beauty bar with most of my friends that come in, get their makeup done, and they're over 50, over 60. To really open up and elongate that eye is really important. So again, I brought it all the way down to the lashes, and I couldn't get really technical also because we were in our kitchen. The lighting was horrible and it was breaking my back. So I did the quickest eyeshadow possible on my aunt. Now again, if you're in my members only area, you could have seen the video. I just did a quick video doing her eyeshadow and tried to show you the technique I used for her, but you could see I was just really fluffing in the darkest eyeshadow on the outer corner. It just adds depth. And like I said, it elongates that eye. Now, I really, really want you to try something new with your eyeshadow this year. You know, if you've maybe tried some of the tricks that I show you and some of the techniques I love teaching you here, that's cool, but maybe try new shades. If you've always loved purple and you're stuck on purple, try some earth tones, and vice versa. You know, if you really love earth tones and you're like me and you know that color doesn't look super great on you, maybe try some mauve or plum. Because look at this bright eyeshadow I have on. This is not my norm, but I really wanted to show you something new, and I wanted to contrast some navy blue with something you wouldn't normally think of, because what's happening, instead of matching my eyeshadow to a navy blue shirt, what's happening is it's bringing out my eyes and everything's coming together. So, you know, something new. Now, I want to go underneath. Let me get a tiny eyeshadow brush. Here we go. I'm just going to take this chocolate, like cocoa brown, and go right underneath. I've got a teeny tiny little slant brush right now. And I'm just gonna go about 3/4 of the way over. And you know, I like to do this on bottom rather than a heavy eyeliner. I just like to use a powder. It lasts longer for me, it doesn't crease, and it looks a little bit softer too. And I don't have to worry if I mess it up because I'm gonna go back with concealer. Okay, now I'm gonna take that deep brown and go right on top on my lash line. Boy, I just licked my lips and felt they are so chapped. I don't know if you guys are suffering with chapped lips this time of year, but I am. All right, stick with me. We're gonna go into that shimmer right now. This is a fresh new look. Dang. Pretty. I'll probably add a little bit more of that chocolate brown. I feel like it just needs a little more oomph. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna add a little bit of this shimmer right here before I go to eyeliner. So I'm gonna go in right here and just use my ring finger because it works the best. And this is a fabulous shimmer. Holy crackers, wow. And there's a gold one in here too. If you don't like it quite as bright, you can use the gold. But I like to get it really bright in this inner corner. It helps open up that eye quite a bit. Now, I just did a little bit of shimmer on my aunt's eyes. I didn't want her to feel like I had overdone it. I was trying to take it easy. Like I said, I wanted to impress her with my mad skills, but also make her feel pretty. Super important. Not just that I think I'm a good makeup artist, but also that she feels pretty. All right, so just blending it out a little bit. I wanted to make sure it wasn't like, you know, chunky, that I put too much shimmer on there. Let's check it out in a better mirror. There we go. Yeah, I definitely need to blend it a little bit. What the heck? There, nice blend, okay. Now we can get into some eyeliner, and I'm going to do the exact same eyeliner I did with my aunt. I just did a really soft, she had just got this new super smudge proof eyeliner that she can get really dark. She likes a good black liner, but I couldn't do that on her eye without making it too much. So I just took it really easy along the lash line, and I just went in and did the fat triangle really small. Like my focus was just the lash line. I wasn't trying to give her a wing or anything like that. She doesn't have the right eye shape for that. And I just went all the way over, but right on the lash line. And I know she likes a little black on bottom, but I still didn't do it. I still just wanted to keep it right on top. Now I'm gonna take that small eyeshadow brush I used on bottom and just smudge it. And this is what I did to my aunt because I couldn't get it straight. I couldn't see good enough. And like I said, you know, she was at the kitchen table. It was non-conducive of a super great straight wing, but what I did do was just smudge it right into her lash line and give her like a smoky kind of dimension to the outer lash area. And I knew I was putting on lashes anyway. We did a cute little false lash, so I didn't have to get it perfect because it all kind of goes together. So don't forget, trust the process, all right? And I must be feeling wacky today because that's like the 5th time I've done that. So just be on your guard today, friends. It's gonna get crazy. Like it didn't already, right? With this weird eyeshadow. All right, just a little bit on the outer corner. I don't have to get real technical because the blend is the key. And this is just that little slant brush. You know, I do wanna grab a magnifier though, just to make sure I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing. Because I keep thinking it looks great. That's another thing. Don't scrutinize yourself so hard because you know what? Your friends and peers are just as blind as you are. You know, if you're like me and you can't see very well, just remember neither can your friends. They think you look fabulous. They don't see those wrinkles because they barely can see if you have eyebrows. All right, I just wanted to deepen it a little bit. Make sure it matched the other side. I felt like I got more on this side, of course, because I'm right-handed. Man, and talk about trust the process. This morning I was listening to a sermon and the preacher was talking about trusting the process, but not just trusting it, but also like appreciating the process more than just the promise. You know, we want to talk about the promises of God when we get to the end. And we want to hear about everybody's promises that have come true, and we'll tell people about our promises after we've already, you know, after they've come to fruition. But what about the process, right? She was like, you know, God's in the process just as much. He's just as interested in the process because that's where he can build you and make you. And I was like, shoot, yeah, I'm the queen of the process over here. Trust the process, be the process, live the process. You know, it's the processes of God that have brought me to where I am, to the promises of God. And I was like, yes, Lord. Maybe that's why I keep putting my arms up today, because I was in the car like, yes, Lord, all the way here. It was so good, you guys. All right, let's get into mascara. I know you love me so much because I sure do love you. Let's get my mascara. All right, I'm just going to use a quick little coat because I know I'm doing my false lashes today, so I don't have to worry too much about the mascara. I just want to make sure I get a lift at the roots. All right, you can see I now have my mascara on, and I did my brows with a little bit of brow powder, so brought those suckers back to life. Now I'm gonna use some eye cream because I'm gonna go in with a cream concealer, but I need my eyes to be really moist. I already used eye cream this morning, but you know, I leave no stone unturned. I gotta put on the extra eye cream. So I'm gonna use the Lift Express. I love this one. It's kind of a silicone base. It's like clear, you can see, but I just love the consistency underneath a cream. Like, if I love to use my eye serum if I'm mixing it together, and sometimes I'll even put a little extra serum, but I do really love this cream because it's clear. You can tap it in like this. It blends really well with a cream foundation or concealer, just right underneath the eyes. Now, when I did my aunt's makeup, I tapped in this eye cream just like this. And then we used a fluffy brush for her concealer because I just wanted a little bit, you guys. I did not want to go in and make her feel, like I said, cakey. I didn't want to make her feel like she had a ton of makeup on. So I just used a cream concealer under her eyes. I'm going to use Tarte for myself. For her, we used one that was a little bit deeper, and I barely used any. So look, I'm even putting it on my hand. I'm not putting it directly under my eye. I want to go in with a fluffy concealer brush though. Let me find what I'm looking for. Give me a second. All right, cream concealer here, back of my hand, helps warm it up. Fluffy concealer brush. This is by Real Techniques as well. Love, love, love it. And I'm just gonna take about half of that concealer and start right under here. Now, if you have a lot of discoloration and you need a lot of coverage, you can put the concealer directly to your skin. It's okay if you need more product. But I don't have a lot of darkness right now. I just need the brightening and the cleanup of the eyeshadow, of course, and then the little lift right here by bringing it up creates that lifted effect all by itself. I don't want a lot of concealer. Though I did a kind of a heavy dramatic eye today, I still want a bright, fresh complexion. That's why I did all that extra exfoliation and everything this morning. I was like, just get the dead off. Bring this face back to life, Lord. And then just bringing it up. Now see, putting that concealer last is really worth it sometimes to help clean up that eyeshadow, sharpen it up, give the lift, give the brightening. And I'm not using very much product. You saw it was such a small amount. Trusting the process. You know, I was telling you about that sermon I was listening to earlier and how God's in the process as well. It's so funny because, you know, the devil knows he can't mess with the promises. He can't mess with God's promises, but he tries to mess with you in the process, right? That's where he tries to get at you. That's where the weapons formed against you try to prosper, right? And it's so funny because, you know, in my life, I've been sober for almost 13 years now. That's right. I used to be a horrible drug addict, alcoholic, got free almost 13 years ago. Praise the Lord. But, you know, it was in that time of getting sober where the devil thought he could come after me and destroy me, like the whole time, even in my addiction. Yeah, of course. But, you know, after getting sober and coming to the promises of God, just kept coming after me. And little did he know, I was going to praise the Lord in the process. Little did he know he was building me. He was helping that process build me. So where he thought he could come against me and destroy me, he just made me stronger. That's what I got to say about that today. That's my PSA of the day, y'all. So I'm going to go back in with my blush brush and back blend a little bit. Man, this is going to be a good video. This is one anointed video today. I am on the box today. All right, I'm going to take my foundation brush. Just make sure I'm blended here. Make sure everything is just really nice and, you know, like kind of blending and diffused together really well. Now, I want to do my lips, but I'm going to use this Raisin shade. You've seen me use it probably a couple times already, but I'm really loving it. It's by NYX, and the shade that I just dropped the lid to is called Los Angeles. I don't know why they would name it that because this does not remind me of LA, but you know, it is what it is. That's the shade. And I really, really like it. So let's get to it. Don't forget, tighten up your lips. Cupid's bow. All right, now I'm overlining, of course, but I'm not doing a severe dramatic one. Which I love, but I'm not doing that today. Going over a few times to make sure I get a good buildup of the product. All right, not too bad, not too bad. Now, to choose a shade to go in the middle. I like it a little bit lighter in the middle, but I still wanted to keep it neutral. So I'm gonna use a shade called Absolute Nude, and it's a little bit on the warm side. I'm not using a ton because I do, of course, want to put on some gloss as well. Just making sure it all diffused together. Now see it's really kind of coming together with the eyeshadow. And notice with the navy blue, I could wear silver, I could wear gold, I could get away with so many different shades because this is such a beautiful neutral. So let's get in with some lip gloss. I'm gonna use Guava. Weird, huh? But it's really pretty. You could go with more of a pink if you wanted, but I liked going with kind of the warm look of everything. I had planned on a really neutral lip, but once I got that Absolute Nude on, I really like the warmth. It's looking really good together. All right, let's get some lashes. I have my Ardell Naked Lashes. This is number 421. I have been ranting about these lately. So I'm gonna get in here and trim them down, and then I'll come back and we'll slap them on together. I'll be right back. All right, I've got one lash on already. I'm gonna slap on this other one. You can see I cut off so much of it, you guys. It's super teeny tiny now. So I'm just gonna focus on the outer corner. All right, here we go. Make sure the glue is tacky and just ready to stick right on there, hopefully. If we're lucky. There we go. Yes. Nice job, self. You know, if you get your lashes on first time without poking your eye out or getting them crooked, give yourself a pat on the back because this stuff ain't easy. Oh my Lord. That was nice. But you know what, I'm telling you, those little Ardell lashes are so worth it. They're so worth the time to put on. And just the Naked band, it's just, I think they call it an Invisiband. So simple to get on and really, truly invisible. So I don't feel like you can see that heavy, ugly lash band. And I can't stand that. It drives me crazy. So I think I'm looking pretty good and complete. I want to go back in with just a little bit of powder. So let me grab that translucent powder and kind of just recheck everything. Just a little bit right in the middle. Making sure I don't get any creasing there because I'm always raising my eyebrows. Right here where my glasses go. And that weird chin, of course. Teeth check. All right, I'm gonna do some setting spray. I'm gonna use that crazy Laura Geller Spackle Mist. What a weird name. But actually has been working pretty good and I'm surprised. I've told you guys before, I've not always been a fan of all of her products. But this is really nice. It's the setting spray that's got electrolytes in it, so. I've used it for quite a few clients recently too, and they love the smell. It's got like a nice, soft, powdery smell to it. It smells like vacation, actually. It's a little coconut, I don't know. Yeah, it smells like vacation. All right, let's get to some hair. Get these crazy clips out. Now with the, just wanting to do something soft, I wanna look professional, you know, just You know, we come to different transitions in our looks, of course, and I've been like, you know, what am I gonna do? Do I just leave it soft? I really wanna bring back the feathered Farrah Fawcett hair, but I know I'm thinning on the top too much for that, so it's like, you know, what am I gonna do? So like right here, it gets a little bit limp. Sometimes I have to put extra curls in there. It just depends on the weather sometimes too. And then sometimes I just like to wear it up, but usually when I wear it up, I'll add some hair pieces to it, and let me show you what I mean. All right, I've got a beautiful set of extensions I got from Luxie. They were fairly expensive, but I got the light gray shade for obvious reasons. But it's got, I think, 9 pieces in it, and I've just got 3 here, 2 little ones and one that's just got 2 clips on it. And I just like to throw those in kind of randomly if I'm gonna put my hair up. Otherwise, I feel like I've got 3 sprigs sticking up here and Homer Simpson in the front just because I'm thinning. So, you know, if I can add in a little extra, I'm going to. So with that said, just right here, I'll add this double clip. And these are the really thin bands too that are like a silicone band. They're like deluxe band or something. And you can see it's a little too long. Since I cut my hair, it's not the right length, but I don't really care because they're still working really well for what I like to use them for. And then I'm gonna take these 2 little pieces and put them on the side here. And especially because I do a super sloppy, messy updo, I don't have to get too technical. So, you know, if you're really picky and you like to get real technical with your hair, you may wanna, I don't know, not do this. All right, so that gives a little bit more when I put it up. And I don't feel quite as bald. I feel like you can't see my scalp as much if I can get this down, but get a little extra volume right through here. And just 3 clips. It's not too much. I don't feel like I'm gonna get a headache from wearing so much in my hair. So let me get this clipped in and get some spray, and then we'll finish it off. Definitely a nice, sleek updo for sure. So I hope that you give that a try. You know, just a little twirl with a claw clip in the back, 3 extensions. And you saw I probably could have just slapped in 1 extra extension and just left my hair down if I wanted to. But I love these earrings, and I thought maybe an updo would really let the earrings be showcased and catch some light, be really pretty. And especially with the navy, I love gold and navy together. Now, definitely you could do some silver and navy, and that looks just as beautiful. Like I said, it's neutral, so do what you like, but I love gold and navy together. So pull my sleeves back down. What do you think? I love, love, love this look. Let me know in the comments what you think, and let me know if you would try any of this that I showed you today. We went a little bit in depth, so I know you got 1, 2, or maybe 17 wonderful new things to try. So you guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you're feeling fresh and amazing like I am today. And I hope that you know that I appreciate you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here on my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.